Alright, welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got another video for you guys today. In this video, I'm going to do what you guys suggested, and we'll go over sort of a live recorded trade here. It was not a super exciting day for me. I ended up in a trade where I stopped out for 2 points, and then in another trade where I was up about 20 points, and I only realized about 8 points on the trade. Ended up going kayaking midday with my daughter. It is a holiday here in Canada. So I know on YouTube and every other video that gets posted, it's some guy who gets in a monster trade and makes monster amount of money. And I just want to show you guys the for real day by day, how boring it can be. Just, sitting around waiting for your trades, analyzing the market, letting your trades work, and how you could kind of have like a, sort of a wash day, and that's cool. You just pick it up and start again the next day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this recording here. I was trading from home, luckily on my desktop PC, so I had enough room to fit in both of these charts, which is ideal. Typically, I'm trading from my laptop, and I do not have room to fit both of these charts on one screen, but luckily I did today. So what we'll do is we'll get rolling on this video here, and I ended up taking a trade entry at about 950. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward through. You'll see my other mouse moving there on the screen. That's me talking to the people in the chat room, talking about certain levels that we might be interested in. And at this point, it is about 950, and I think I took an entry at 955. So let's see how this plays out. I was highlighting this bid here of 635 here. There's something interesting that's happening actually. Big picture on the day, if you see this area that I have marked out here, this was an area I wanted price to reject off of. I do end up taking a long here for a loss that, going back in hindsight, of course, I should have probably realized we were going the other way, but this is totally fine. What I was talking to the chat room about here was there was a bid stepping in here and we were failing to accept below the bid. But on the top side of this as well, I can see strong shorts that applied pressure here when we started making a move down off of these highs. And as soon as price got above this passive offer, we rejected and failed to accept higher. So I was telling the chat room, this is a 50-50 area. Either you're buying the 12s or you're selling the 1550s, okay? Unfortunately, I bought the 12s. If I could go back and replay time, I would have sold the 1550s. It is what it is, right? So I'll fast forward a little bit here, and we'll see where I get this entry in. I actually think I get this entry on this next pullback down into this area. I'm not in yet. You will see I'm in when this area on my DOM lights up. This is P&L by points, okay? P&L by points in a position and on the day. So we'll see as price pulls back into this area. I actually think I'm about to hit the button in this area, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we will increase this speed 2x. I want you guys to see me get the fill, and then we can push through the trade a little bit. So we're fluttering over under this area right now, and I notice we can't accept lower. I hit the button. I'm long 12.25, okay? So we're long right about here. Now the idea is I want price to break above this area. If it doesn't, we stop out right below this for a small loss, and it's no big deal. So I'll let this play itself through a little bit. And there we go. We're out of the trade, which is completely fine. We lose 2 points, no big deal. As I said before, looking back, if I could turn back time, I should have shorted the 1550s based on what our footprint was telling us here. It was a 50-50, but if I dial back to the bigger picture with this area that we're rejecting, maybe it's more like a 60-40 to the short side. See, I was talking to the chat right here, 50-50. If you sell here, we could go down. If you buy here, we could have gone up. And again, I bought. We took an L on that one. So I will check out our next trade here. And I'll show this chart to you guys here. So this is my trade that I took. We got long, we got stopped out, perfectly fine. Missed this huge flush. Had we been short 1550s, which is also totally fine. What I really wanted was I wanted price to move down into these 8650s and then look for a play on the footprint where I could have grabbed this thing long back into this area. Unfortunately, we didn't get down to those 86.50s. So as soon as we pop back up into this area here, which was large selling on our footprint as well, I looked to get short. Okay, so let's go like this. Can actually go back and look at that. Okay, so this was that area that we failed off the highs. We tried to buy this. Now, what I was looking at was I was looking at the 12s, I believe it was 12, 12, 12. Yeah, somewhere back into this area. So back into these guys here into the 10s, back into this big guy here into the 12s, back into this guy into the 11s. This was the area I wanted to short if price actually turned around and came back up after this dump. So we'll go back and we will look at our chart. And you can see as soon as price started coming back up, I shorted the 11s, I shorted the 12s, and we held, we got a partial, and my all out was down here. At this point when I got this partial, what I did was I set an order, and I was kind of a chump on this one. I'm not even sure how the rest of the day played out. Yeah, I would have stopped out anyways, but my original stop on this trade was, let me drop a line here. My original stop on this trade was 13.25. Put a line for visual reference. So on this first trade, my stop was 13.25. And then what I did was once I got this partial, I dragged my stop down to one tick over 12, so 12.25. And I ended up getting stopped out here, which is fine. Typically, I don't like to move this stop unless we're in the money like this and we're really driving for these lows. Then we could do a sweep, but I mean basically my average at that point is 12 and I'm risking 13.25. Like I'm willing to just risk a little bit more to see if we trap some more buyers over these highs, stop out some more sellers, and actually turn around and start reversing here, which we didn't, which is fine. Today was kind of weird because, we'll minimize this and just kind of watch this play out a bit. Today was kind of weird because there was some random news that came out that there was a huge explosion beside the Pentagon, and I think that was the reason for that drop. And then it came out that it was like fake news. I don't know if AI was like pumping out news to move the market in a certain direction or what it was, but like it was some pretty gnarly stuff. I mean, I looked it up and there was even a headline that had been posted 14 hours ago that said something about an explosion. So I'm zooming out on that chart there. We'll just back it up a second here. I'm zooming out on the chart here and I'm talking to the chat and trying to let the chat know this is the area that I'm interested in right here if price gets back in that area for a short. So at this point we're just waiting. And guys, you can just see there's so much waiting and trading, you know, just looking around, planning your ideas, sitting on your hands, have a coffee, you know, which I don't drink anymore, watch a YouTube video, whatever it is, and just sit there and wait, right? So we had big orders sitting in this gap. That was the area I was interested in playing. Let's pop this forward a little bit and see if we can catch the fills. Okay, so we got one fill here at the 12.10s. I was looking for 11s and 12s. I actually don't think I got the 12. I think I just got the 10 and the 11. And at this point, I'm negotiating with myself what my targets are going to be. I already have a general idea of what my targets are going to be. Initially, they were pretty ambitious. Like this was my first target. The 86.50s that we talked about earlier was my second target. And then I started realizing that because of this false news drop here on some like pretty critical stuff, right? Like explosions outside the Pentagon, I realized, you know, maybe it's not a good idea to go for these super ambitious targets because maybe the market isn't as weak as we think it is because it was just some gnarly fake news. We do end up missing this fill by one tick at some point. I don't know if this was it, 1175. I mean, we missed it by a tick. It is what it is. I'm scrolling up and down the DOM, looking at some areas that I want to put my targets out at. I'm moving some targets in to try and, you know, figure out where we want to take profit on these trades. I'm still waiting for this last piece to get filled, and you're seeing that, like I said, my stop is at that 1325 area. We're currently down 2 points on the day, and this is our unrealized on the trade in terms of points. Okay, so I'll flip through this a little bit more. Oh, this is hilarious. I mean, I don't even know how I did this, but I was trying to change the time frame on my top chart, and I had this chart selected. And check this out. I changed the time frame on this chart to a 1-minute footprint chart now, so it's no longer a Renko chart. I had to go back and I had to open up a different chart book, pull the old Renko chart out while we're in a trade here, customize everything back to how I had it. I mean, just crazy. But it's fine. It worked out. We're back. We got the Renko chart running. We're still in the trade. We're up 3.5 points. And at this point, we're just waiting. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm still fiddling around with this bottom target. At this point right now, I have that target sitting right around this area. I knew that I was going kayaking with my daughter, and she was, she's home from school today, and she was kind of right over my shoulder, like, when are we going? So we start dropping now. We're up 10 points, unrealized, of course. Price continues to move down. We take this piece off down here, and now we're realized 5.5 points and unrealized about 8 points, okay? So at this point, I'm saying I've swept my stop down here to the 12.25s, like I said, which is just above this area here. Our average is 11. We've got our first partial, and we're looking for that push down into this area right now. I actually write you guys a message, and I say now I leave the charts to go kayaking with my daughter, and the time was 10:48. So pretty much all of this, the rest of this, I really didn't even see this play out, right? Like I was gone. Price drives down a little bit more. We were unrealized 10, 11 points on that trade at some point, and price just completely reverses here. So at some point, we could have been up 20 points or 20 points on the day, but listen, that's not my strategy. That's not my system. If I'm confident in a trade, confident in an entry, I want to see it go in a certain direction. I've got what's possibly my best entry on the day. I really want to let this trade play out. And if that means I have to give some back, that's fine. If you guys don't like giving money back on trades, you're likely more of a scalp type trader. Maybe not scalping for just ticks. You could scalp for a few points. You have to really weigh what bothers you the most. To me, what bothers me the most is if I'm short here, which is where we were short, and I take a partial here, and then, price pretends like it's reversing here, and I take the rest off here, and then we go down to target, I'm more angry or more uncomfortable that I got out of the trade early and didn't let it work. I would rather give back some while still in the trade and stop out, rather than take the trade off for small profits and see it play out exactly as I planned, right? If I don't stay in the trade, I can't see the trade out. If I bail the trade early, it feels good in the present moment because, oh, we bailed the trade early, we feel good, we locked everything in, and then the trade goes to your target. You're like, damn it, if I just held to target, I'd be so much better off. Inversely, like this trade, this was actually a low that I thought was going to be broken. This was not a weak low, or this was a weak low. It was not a low that they failed to accept below. They were actually accepting below the low, so I thought this was going to pop up and come retest it. It just didn't for now, which is fine. And I feel much better about getting in the trade here, having my target, and letting this thing play itself out to get down to my target. Could I have managed this differently if I was here and not out kayaking? I'm not sure, right? I'm not really sure. I didn't look at the footprints. What I can see here is we do have some large orders, so there was some action. But for me to come back and look at this now, I can't say if I would have treated anything differently. I likely would have held my stop. And to be honest with you, I possibly could have made this worse if I was here. Worse because I might have found somewhere here to add. Would have had a bigger loss, which is fine. Instead of making 3, 4, 5 points on the day, maybe would have just been dead break even. It's not a huge deal, right? But this is exactly what I did today, how the trade played out. I can fast forward a little bit just so there's my stop getting taken right on this little wick right here. The stop got taken, and we're completely flat on the day, 3.75 points. I don't know, probably like 3 points after commissions, whatever it is. It's a completely washed day, and that was it. That was it for the day. So I hope this little recording helped you guys. Going forward, Unfortunately, I will not have both of these charts on one screen at one time. I just don't have enough screen real estate to do that on my other trading stations. So you guys let me know, would you rather see this chart as it's playing out live, or would you rather see this chart and the DOM running as we're playing out live? Whatever charts we don't have on the recording, we can always go back and look at. Like I can go back and we can reference this footprint. Obviously, it won't be played out live, or maybe we can do like a replay. We can always reference this footprint if you guys just want to see the chart and then we talk about the footprint or in depth later. That's great too. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it's my first type of video, you know, running in this type of format. So let me know what you guys think, and good luck and stay safe on the charts. We'll talk to you guys soon.